On May 28, the second hearing on the case of human rights defender Anar Mammadli, NGO representative Bashir, Suleymanli and Elnur Mammadov took place in Baku Court on grave crimes. The process was presided over by Judge Rauf Aliyev. Sahib Rustamli, Elshan Suleymanov, Ismayilov and Etimad Budagov, regarded as victims by the investigation, gave testimony in the process. They all stated that they didn't consider themselves victims, so didn't have any claims against the accused. Note that Anar Mammadli, head of the NGO EMDS, was detained on December 16, 2013 on charge of running business without registration, tax evasion and abuse of office by influencing election results. He was sent to pretrial detention straight away, while the two other accused EMDS Executive Director Bashir Suleymanli and Volunteers International Corporation Public Union Director Elnur Mammadov were prohibited to leave Baku until trial. On March 19, the accused faced additional charges of serious forgery and appropriation of property. On April 28 and May 1, the trial on the case of Bizim newspaper journalist Pervez Hashimli continued in Baku Grave Crimes Court under the chairmanship of Judge Novros Garimov. At the beginning of the process, Hashimli, in his petition, requested the court to send a query to the Minister of National Security with regard to the data recorded by the surveillance cameras located in front of his apartment. In May 1st process, Hashimli's lawyer filed a motion for involvement of additional witnesses, which was dismissed by the judge. Note that Bizim newspaper journalist and moderator as Editor-in-Chief Pervez Hashimli was detained on September 17th by employees of the Minister of National Security. Main Investigation Department of MNS launched a case against him with 3 articles of the Azerbaijan Criminal Code. Article 206.3.2, smuggling of firearms on preliminary arrangement by an organized group. Article 228.2.1, illegal purchase, transfer, selling, storage, transportation and carrying of firearms, their accessories, supplies and explosives by an organized group, and Article 228.2.2, the same acts committed repeatedly. On April 29th, an investigator and several other employees from the Serious Crimes Investigation Department of the General Prosecutor's Office conducted search in the office of Leyla Yunus, director of the Institute for Peace and Democracy. They took away all the computers, Arif Yunus books, different print materials, and materials from conferences attended by the Yunus. Following the office, Leyla Yunus' home was also searched. Several documents and print materials were seized. Note that Leyla Yunus and her spouse Arif Yunus were detained at airport while flying to Doha on April 28. Baku Court on Grave Crimes held a preliminary hearing on April 30 on the case of Facebook activist Anar Mammadov, who is charged with illegal drug dealing. The process was presided over by Judge Elnur Mammadov. Defense lawyer Khalid Baghra filed a motion for the release of Anar Mammadov. Later, the lawyer filed another motion for removal from the evidence list of the protocol on Mammadov's personal search and seizure of the narcotics from him. He also petitioned the court to allow Mammadov's father to testify as a witness and to request data from surveillance cameras located in Tabriz Street when Baghra was detained there on April 24th. The prosecutor Erkin Gafarov protested all motions. Note that Anar Mammadov is a member of Civil Solidarity Party and the head of the Akhin Youth Movement. After his arrest, he rejoined Nida movement. Mammadov was active user of social networks. Notably, he was one of the admins of the Facebook page Exclusives from Asteve, which shared cartoons, photo collage and comments making fun of the officials' mistakes. In January of 2014, he was arrested with the charge of drug possession. The attempt of a group of youth to mark International Workers' Day by a procession was prevented by Baku police through violence on May 1st. 6 participants and Objective TV reporter Shirin Abbasov, who was covering the event, was taken to the 9th station of the Savayel District Police Office. Though Shirin Abbasov and 2 other youths were freed, the remaining 4 were taken to the Central Police Office of the district. The youth attempting to celebrate International Solidarity Day of Workers have been sanctioned with administrative detention by Savayel District Court of Baku on May 2nd. By the order of the court, 15 days of forced labor penalty was given to Akshin Talibov and Talih Rizakhanov, 10 days to Sanan Gul Ahmedov, and 180 hours to Umid Alashov. Trial of the Facebook activist Abdul Abilov continued in Baku Court on Grave Crimes on May 1st. Abilov himself gave testimony, saying that immediately after the arrest, he was taken to the Interior Ministry General Directorate for Combating Organized Crime, where he was asked about the page called Stop Sycophants he had created on Facebook. Also, he was asked whether he was related to the opposition leaders Jamal Hassanli and Ali Karimli. Note that Facebook activist Abdul Abilov was arrested on November 22, 2013 and charged with illegal possession, storage, manufacturing or sale of drugs, which stipulates a prison sentence for up to 12 years. Narmav District Court ordered him to be put in pretrial custody. Abilov was the admin of the Facebook page Stop Sycophants, which was closed after his arrest. On May 1st, Baku Court heard a complaint on the case of Güler Ahmedova by the chairmanship of Aflatun Qasımov. Then former member of parliament Güler Ahmedova gave testimony. She noted that she didn't find herself guilty at all. Public prosecutor Rasul Abbasov took the floor in the process. The prosecutor said Güler Ahmedova's guilt was proved and her speech was a self-defense. The prosecutor called on the court not to grant the appeal and uphold the verdict, but the court made a decision on the completion of investigation. Note that former member of parliament Güler Ahmedova is serving her 3-year prison sentence delivered on December 3, 2013 on charge of embezzlement and concealment of crime. Ahmedova's lawyer Afsar Talibov has appealed against the court's decision. On May 1st, Rashadat Akhundov gave closing arguments on behalf of all defendants, including himself, in Baku Grave Crimes Court on the case of NIDA members and actors Elshan Suleymanov. Denying all the charges and calling them fabricated, Akhundov demanded their acquittal. Note that the 7 actors of NIDA civic movement were detained in April and May of 2013 and are charged with planning to use Molotov cocktails during a mass protest in Baku on March 10, 2013. Some of the youth are also charged with illegal possession of drugs. Member of the Azad Gençlik organization Elnur Mammadov, who is co-accused with NIDA activists, was detained on May 17, 2013. He was first charged with hooliganism, then additional with organizing riots and attempting to participate in them. International Bar Association called on the Azerbaijan authorities to ensure the right to a fair trial on the issue of freedom of expression. Bar Association also proposed to establish mechanisms for the protection of journalists. These calls are included in the 62-page report titled Azerbaijan Freedom of Expression on Trial, prepared by the Fact-Finding Mission of Bar Association, who visited Azerbaijan in December of last year and met with representatives of law enforcement agencies, the judiciary, lawyers, and civil society. International Bar Association is a reputable international organization which unites 55,000 people. Countries respecting the rights and the rule of law follow its recommendations. On World Press Freedom Day, members of free journalism and NGO representatives visited the grave of Monitor magazine editor-in-chief Elnur Mammadov, who was murdered on March 2, 2005 by a hired killer.